Greetings, peace and blessings. Happy Thursday, everyone. Today is the day that Jupiter rose, and how appropriate because we are having a full moon in about 25 minutes, 24 minutes. We have a full moon coming in Leo, at the 5th degree of Leo. Full moons happen once a month, as do new moons, and full moons are when the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. So the sun is currently at the 5th degree of Aquarius, and the full moon will come in at the 5th degree of Leo. So this energy is really a very sacred energy. And one of the things that's most significant about this full moon is that there is a grand trine happening. And a grand trine is when there are three placements in the same mode, right? So Aquarius is fixed air, Leo is fixed fire, and Jupiter is at the 6th degree in fixed earth. So this is a highly creative time. This is a grand trines are where the energies feel easy to access. They feel easy to create a new pattern with. And this is exactly what's necessary because fixed energy is challenging to create new patterns in, because it's, like if you have fixed earth, I don't know if you, like as an astrologer working with Tauruses, they have a really challenging time changing their patterns because fixed earth, it takes thousands of years for a mountain to be moved, right? Or for the weather to impact the mountain so that the mountain is different. Fixed air is if you've ever been in the desert and you can hardly breathe because there's no breeze or no movement. That's Aquarius. It's fixed. And then fixed fire. Fire is really interesting because fire doesn't exist without, earth exists on its own and water exists on its own and air exists on its own. But fire needs it needs a conduit. Fire needs earth, or fire needs air. And when water touches fire, the water kills the fire. So this is a really new energy that's coming because fire is there. Fire has to consume something is what I'm trying to say. Fire cannot function on its own. So it needs something to consume. And what is it going to consume? It's going to consume your old identity, because Leo is inviting you into absolutely understanding your connection to the divine. What is fascinating to me, is how we have been tricked into believing that we need something or someone outside of us to access God. And that is the most damaging belief system to your own capacity to function. That is the most damaging thing to accept as true, because it depletes your own life force energy when you believe that something or someone outside of you is necessary in order for you to access the divine, which is your breath. It is your connection to your heart. It is within you. And because we have been conditioned to believe that we need Jesus or Muhammad or all of these external forces to access God, we are energetically giving our spiritual power away. Now, the thing that's so fascinating, as I have done my own research and work, and the force of creation, the God force, is everywhere present. It truly is a neutral force, which is why we can have people like Hitler and why we can have people like Jesus, because once you tap into that force, it's neutral. It is not a force that says, it's like the sun. The sun shines on the just and the unjust. This is the power of the Creator. And we've taken in all this mythology about it that says this is preferable and this is evil and this is good and this is bad. And none of that has anything to do with the force of the creator. All of those are human narratives that have been placed on this neutral energy that just says yes to whatever it is you impose upon it. And it's a tricky thing because many of us, I know myself included, have learned not to trust myself because I've been told that there's a boogeyman, there's a devil, there's, evil, there's, all of these things. When all of those things like the devil or the boogeyman or evil are just narratives that humans have created based upon their own understanding or misunderstanding of their connection to this neutral force, which is all loving. It is unconditional. If you say, I'm going to, do this horrible thing that humans judge as horrible, but you are neutral about it, that force will work with you to make that happen. And if you say you're going to do this thing that humans think is beautiful, but you're neutral about it, then that force will work with you to make that happen. It is a neutral energy. The sun shines upon the just and the unjust. Now, the work is beginning to understand your connection to this force, that it is your breath, that it is the energy that emanates you and the energy that animates you. It is both. And what you do with it is your business. It reminds me very much of that story, the mythological story in the Bible where it says that, this man I don't know if it was a king or a father or whatever, but gave like each of his children equal amounts of talents. And then later on asked them, what did you do with your talents? This is how this force is. You can do with it whatever you want to do with it. I'm going to give everybody $10 and you can take your $10 and do with it whatever you will. It is yours to do with your life, your body. And there is no right or wrong in the consciousness of the creator. That right or wrong gets applied through our human meaning-making machines, our minds. Now, what's significant is that this full moon is coming in on a Mercury hour, which means that our minds are going to be transformed. Now, the work is, have you been preparing yourself for this mind shift? Because in my experience, shifting your mind is the hardest work I have ever done. Getting myself to believe something different about racism, getting myself to believe something different about the world and how it functions, getting my mind to transform and see that, actually, nothing is good and nothing is bad. It's all neutral. Like having to transform my mind to see things from a new perspective has been the most difficult work that I have ever done. Now, it could be easy for some, there are reasons why it might be challenging for me because I come from an environment that was heavy in, spirituality and the idea that I would need somebody to save me and that somebody who was going to have to come and rescue me or somebody was out to get me. Maybe those are the reasons why it has been challenging for me to change my mind. But I do know that that is what is necessary. However challenging it is for you or however accessible it is for you, the work is transforming your mind with the stories that you are telling about reality, right? So one of the things that I tell myself all the time, everything is working out for my highest, best, and good. Everything. It doesn't matter what's happening. It could be the thing that I absolutely don't want to happen. But I know because I have a mind that says everything is working out for my highest, best, and good, that thing that seems like I absolutely don't want it is going to turn into the thing that actually serves me and heals me and propels me into who I desire to be. Because I have told my mind that everything works together for my highest good and best. Now, What is necessary for us as we move forward through the age of Aquarius is for us to recognize that the energy and the power of the divine is within you. It is in the story that you tell about yourself. It is in what you think about yourself. It is in what you feel about yourself. It is in what you say about yourself. Because whatever you think, feel, and say about yourself, you are programming into your lived experience based upon your narration of who you are, the character you are, the experiences, the way you narrate the experiences, the way you feel about the experiences. That is how you are programming yourself into a lived experience. So the Grand Trine that is at the sun at the 5th degree of Aquarius, the sun at the fifth degree is a Leo degree. It is the degree that is ruled by Leo. So this energy is inviting you into absolutely, fully, wholeheartedly, exclusively loving and accepting every part of yourself as a necessary experience for you to become who you are meant to be. One of the things that I've been working with this week is I've shared with you guys that I grew up in an environment where my mother was a prostitute and my father was a pimp, and my mother was prostituting while she was pregnant with me. I remember being a child and feeling the energies of men in my system, which was so surreal to me. Like now as I'm saying it, but growing up with watching my uncles shoot up heroin and go to jail. And one of my uncles was a bank robber, and 3 of my uncles had addictions. And then I had an uncle who was gay that all the other uncles tortured because he was effeminate. Like I just grew up in sheer chaos and terror. And for most of my life, I was at odds with it because it was painful. It was suffering. It was emotional pain. It was emotional suffering. Then I went to believe in Jesus, thinking that believing in Jesus was going to rescue me and pull and save me and take me out of the experience. But it was not until I really understood that the force of creation is neutral. And everything is good and valuable if I have the capacity, the courage, the strength, the mindset, the wherewithal to say it. So because inside of myself, I was holding an energetic frequency of resistance because of the environment I was born into. I was in constant resistance, which created more suffering. And so as I begin to recognize that the creative force is in everything, that I don't need to resist that experience. I can actually accept it and love it and understand that it was serving me in somehow. And if I can just ask, how does this serve me? What are the lessons here for me? What is it that my soul put me here to learn? And the moment that I could stop resisting it, which really just happened about a week ago, you guys, because the environment I grew up in taught me not to trust people, taught me to be afraid, taught me to believe in scarcity, taught me that there was not enough, taught me that I wasn't safe, right? So literally just earlier this week, I literally for the first time heard myself say, what if you were born into the exact environment that you needed in order to become who you are meant to be? What if you stopped resisting any of it? What if you knew that all of it was for you and none of it was against you? And this is where the opening happens. What if we knew that racism was actually helping us in some way? You'd have to wonder, you'd have to be curious about, well, how could racism possibly be helping me? How could this experience possibly be serving me in some way? You have to be genuinely curious about the experience. and ask the question sincerely. And in that, the creative force floods that reality. And now the power and the magic of that experience becomes available to you the moment you stop resisting it. I was in this marriage and I got cheated on and how did that serve me? What did that offer me? And the minute you become curious enough to wonder how something that most humans say is bad, right? That most humans say is undesirable. The moment you are willing to use it as an opportunity to grow, the moment you actually access a greater connection to the divine, to God, to the creative force, to source energy. And that is the power of harmonizing our masculine and feminine energy. The masculine is the external world. Many of us are at odds with this external world. I remember when I was a child just wondering, why would I come here? Why am I born here? Who are these people? Why is everybody so angry? Why is everybody so sad? But the moment I started going, why did I choose this experience? How does this serve me? What are the lessons that I can learn from this? How can I actually benefit from this experience? Everything changes. Everything changes the more we stop resisting and we accept things as they are and we open our hearts to the possibilities of what is being offered. In that moment, everything is transformed. Everything. So, this Leo energy is inviting us to expand. Like I said, there's a grand trine in the fixed mode, Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus. It is rare that this energy changes, right? Like, people who have a lot of Pisces, Virgo, Gemini energy, we're changing all the time. But these are the signs that don't change often. And so you want to do some sort of ritual. You want to invite yourself into a new perspective because it's coming in on the Mercury hour. You want to invite yourself into a higher perspective. You want to look at something going on in your life and see something that you've been resisting, something that you've been at odds with, and ask, how can this experience benefit me? Sincerely ask, how can this experience, take the worst thing that's ever happened in your life that you consider the worst and ask, how can this experience benefit me? Maybe you've had a horrible health condition. How can this experience benefit me? What can I get from this? What is this experience here to offer me? Maybe you have been ostracized or you've had bankruptcy. What is it that this experience is here to teach me? And in that, you are going to transmute a fixed energy. The thing that has held you captive forever will be transmuted. And the full moon comes in 10 more minutes, y'all. About 10 more minutes. About 8 minutes, right? So you want to be asking this. How can I transform this energy? So I'm going to just say a prayer. Heavenly Father, Mother God, the power of the universal presence that is in all and as all and through all. There is one life. That life is the life of the Creator, the divine intelligence. There is one spirit, the spirit of the Creator, the divine spirit that moves upon and through and emanates and animates all things. And there is one heart, this beating heart that is the human experience that allows us to be the expression of the creative force. We are the God essence. We are the God power. We are the source of all things. And so in this awareness of oneness, the divine law of all, that we are connected in all ways, I call forth the expansion of awareness and consciousness to know ourselves as one with the one, as connected to the source in every area of our lives, in mind, heart, body, soul, and spirit. I call forth the shadow parts of us to be illuminated with light so that we may learn from all that is, that we may access the power from the depths of our sorrow, from the depths of our pain, that we may be transmuted in the flames of this energy into the light, that we may love ourselves unconditionally. And as we love every part of ourselves, the pain, the suffering, the darkness, the scarcity, the unworthiness, as we bring all of it into the encompassing expression of the Creator's love, it is transmuted into power and light. And we walk in the consciousness of Christ as the presence of God within us. And we can say with certainty and confidence that when you see me, you have seen your Father, Mother God, who has sent me. For I am one with the creative power that created the sun and the moon and the constellations and the mountains and the oceans and every planet and every universal system. We are one, and that universal power is activated within us right here, right now. I give thanks and I let it be, saying, and so it is. Ashe, aho. Thank you, Spirit. All right, y'all. Have a really beautiful day today. Happy full moon in Leo. Know that you are the one. You are the embodiment of God, of Source. You are the embodiment of the Son. You are that. You are Christ. You are Christ. There is no one above you. You are it. And when you know that more and more and more, you will experience that in every way possible. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a really beautiful day. Please share the video if it feels compelling to you.